The L-sit is a great bodyweight skill to learn. It is a perfect combination of strength, mobility and flexibility. It will help you with building muscle in your tricep, your back, your quads and your core. It is a full body exercise. My apologies for the lack of energy. I'm a bit ill right now, but I still want to make this video. Let's start with form explanation. In the beginning it is not necessary to have perfect form. You will get this over time when practicing. However, it is smart to know what the perfect form can look like. This so you know what you're working towards. The L-sit is a straight arm skill, and just like from my handstand video, it is necessary to lock your arms. This means that your wrist, elbow and shoulders are in one line. Now with perfect technique we also rotate our bicep towards the front. This will give us greater access towards more tricep activation and it will look overall more clean. Your shoulders need to be depressed. This means that they are pushed down. You don't perform an L-sit like this, but like this. We also want to retract our scapula a bit and open up our chest. We make everything work together. So we lock arms, push shoulders down, retract our scapula and push back. We keep our core tight. It needs to feel like steel. The L-sit is performed with the activation of our hip flexors. We activate our hip flexors by lifting up our leg. It is a muscle that connects our upper quad with our hips. We want to be flexible in the forward fold. This makes the L-sit a bit easier mobility and flexibility wise. Flexibility is being able to get into position and mobility is being able to use strength in the position. We also flex our quads and point our toes in L-sit. So if we can get our upper body, our lower body and get it into position and we get everything tight, we have a pretty decent form of L-sit. Now with the use of strength we lean backwards a bit, activate our tricep and lift our legs. Now we're doing an L-sit. So for a good L-sit we lock our legs, squeeze our quads, squeeze our hips, squeeze our abs and we have our shoulders in a kind of neutral position where we open up our chest. Don't roll in too much with your shoulders. Learning support. To train our upper body we forget our lower body for a bit. We separate the upper and lower body so we can focus more and at the end we will bring everything together. To train upper body, we can perform an L-sit with our feet on the ground. We call this support. An exercise we can do in support is for example shrugs, where we move our shoulder blades up and down. This can help us with understanding technique and it will build strength in the right areas. If we get good in this, we can do a variation called one leg support. In this variation we hold one leg up and after a few seconds we switch legs. This exercise is called one leg support. In this exercise we can switch between legs so both of them get evenly strong, and with this we are already using the correct muscles for the real L-sit, so it's a great first step to take. Now a real strength progression is doing the L-sit tucked. So we take on a support position, we lock our arms, get into correct shoulder blade position, we lean backwards a bit, we pull in our legs and then lean backwards by pushing yourself with your triceps and then your feet come off the floor. Now holding this is pretty difficult, so if you're able to do this, you're already well on your way of doing the actual L-sit. Hip flexors and core. Now last but not least is hamstring flexibility and also hip flexor strengthening. So being able to get into the position and also being able to move while in position. We will shift our focus from the upper body towards the lower body. So for this exercise we're going to sit on the floor. We're going to place our hands beside our knees or fingertips, whatever you like, and we try to get proper posture. We are simulating the actual L-sit, so open up your chest, depress your shoulders, retract them a bit and get into a tight position. Brace your core, flex your quads and try to raise your legs. To make this a bit easier, we're going to start with one leg lift. One leg lifts. One leg lifts. Try to get around 5 reps of this exercise while keeping your back a bit arched. Do not sit like this, it will take away the power from this exercise. Get proper form. Feel the cramp collecting in your quads and accept the pain. Make sure to train both legs evenly. If you get good at one leg lifts, we can do regular leg lifts. Try to get cleaner form over time. So close the angle between your core and your legs. You want it to be as small as possible. Imagine hanging your belly over your hips. Open up your chest and arch your back a bit. Now if you want to make this exercise even more difficult, we place our hands more towards our feet. By getting it closer towards your feet, the exercise will become much more difficult and you will become even stronger in this exercise. Attempts. In the beginning of your training you can try to do some attempts of the L-sit. Just a few times to get familiar with the move and the activation you're going to need. Don't focus on your perfect form, just try to get a hold in for a few seconds or even longer. Just keep the form in mind when you start the set, but don't worry if you lose the form. After 2, 3 or 4 attempts, we can move on to the accessory exercises. We will label this as quality work, where we do watch our form and try to get it as perfect as possible. My lamp just died, so it's a bit more dark from now on. For the accessory exercises, we will do a version of the support hold and a version of the leg lift. We will do this in combination with each other, and we call this a superset. We do a superset first of all to save us some time, and it will also make us more familiar with hard, difficult sets. So doing a support hold at first, and then immediately after we do a version of leg lifts. Now if we push pretty hard, this will become pretty intense, but this is what is necessary to get a proper L-sit. Try to actively stretch your hamstrings and do 2 or 3 trainings a week of the L-sit. I have some example schedules on the screen. Make sure to do your best and work hard. Now like I said before, the L-sit will only take you about 3 months of hard work, so remember to just keep your training simple. Just do a few attempts of the L-sit followed by a few accessory exercises to get in more strength. Rest a few days and attempt another few attempts, followed by another set of accessory exercises. Always properly warm up before you start training, and also try to do some flexibility work after your training. When I was a beginner, I did way too long about getting my L-sit because I was too stubborn to actually do some flexibility training. And I just did random attempts without proper technique, and it just took me way too long. So follow this scheduled approach and you will get it within a few weeks/months. I wish you good luck. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments, and I will see you next time. Thank you.